This video tutorial cost me almost $1,300 to make. Let me explain. In the latest DaVinci Resolve 18.5 update, there were two features that really stood out to me as being incredibly useful and awesome ways for you to be able to make extra cash as a content creator. However, I soon found out that using these two features in tandem was actually somewhat difficult. So before I reveal what these two features are, let me tell you a little bit of the backstory. This is an NVIDIA RTX 3070, and it has 8 gigabytes of VRAM. In terms of content creation, VRAM is typically used for high resolution video editing and even screen recording. So initially when I tried to make this tutorial, I was trying to run DaVinci Resolve with these two features and also record a video inside of OBS. And my VRAM was completely filled up and it would crash every single time I tried to record. It was incredibly frustrating, and I initially didn't know what was going on until I did a bit of digging and found out that yes, indeed, I was filling up the VRAM, and because the VRAM was so full and there was no headroom, it ended up crashing and my OBS recording stopped working. But I made a few upgrades which enabled me to be able to ultimately create this tutorial. So I took to Facebook Marketplace, searched up for the 3090 Ti, which is a great option because it came out a couple of years ago, so the price has come down significantly, but it also has 24 gigabytes of VRAM. So I installed it and I was off to the races. As soon as I tried to do what I was doing before, the VRAM went to about 11 to 12 gigabytes of usage, but it didn't fill up and I was able to create this tutorial. I have a recent wedding that I did. Now, let's say that in this wedding, they also hired a photographer. Now, in this specific example, my wife was actually a photographer and she did an awesome job. She didn't miss any of the great shots. But I have had photographers reach out to me and I have heard that sometimes they just don't quite get the shot. And that's common, that happens sometimes, it's okay. Nobody's perfect. So in this case, what I would go ahead and do, let's say this was the specific shot that the photographer missed. So the bride and groom want this to be able to print. So the old way to export a still from DaVinci Resolve would be to go to the color page, create a new stills album, and then whatever clip you wanted to go to, you would just grab still, and then you would export it from here. But that's too many steps, and there's also some features that we're missing out on if we do it that way. So the new way to do it, which is much easier, is you go to File, Export, and then Current Frame as Still. And that allows you to just save it as a JPEG file directly from your viewer, which is much, much easier. But I'm going to show you a way to make it even better and more crisp so that they can use it as prints. So what I'm going to do is create a new timeline. Let's call this 8K. And we're going to go to the resolution, 8K Ultra HD, create. And we're going to come back to this one. We're going to copy the clip and paste it onto our 8K timeline. It's like this. Now this is being played back at 8K, even though it's natively only a 4K video clip. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the spot that I want to save. Let's say that first frame right here. And I'm going to enable super scale. What that's going to do is that's going to use kind of DaVinci Resolve's neural network to use AI sharpening to increase the resolution up to 8K. And once I have done that, you can see here I can pick through the frames, and obviously it's going to be a lot slower doing it this way because it's having to use the neural network. So this isn't going to be able to play back smoothly. You would need to render this able to play it back. But this is a much higher resolution image and much more suited for printing. So after I do that, I can adjust noise reduction and sharpness if I want to, but usually the default settings work just fine. Then I will go to File and export current frame as still and put it on my desktop. You can see here, this is a much higher resolution image compared to the first one. Much more suitable for printing large in like a large format canvas or something like that. And you can do this with any footage that you have inside of DaVinci Resolve. It works best if you're starting with 4K and you're upscaling it to 8K. That tends to be where it works the best. And that's honestly it. Yes, this is the most expensive tutorial that I have ever made. This is an excellent way to make more money as a creator because many people, if they just hire a videographer for something, they might be interested in having these high resolution stills for them to be able to print and put up and have or share on social media rather than sharing the full video. It's a great way to make some additional cash to create those galleries. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate your time. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel for more DaVinci Resolve tutorials and creator content. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.